Hello and welcome to our science lesson today, and it's all about the pH levels of your skin. I can tell you're excited. All right, so I guess on that you are that one person that doesn't think that having to use the toner is absolutely necessary. So you've spent the money. We've got a beautiful cleanser, toner, moisturizer. It could be in any of our beautiful ranges. It could be in Apricot. It could be Hydrofinity. Could be Restore or Comfort. And maybe you've even lashed out on a little bit of an eye cream. And what happens is we get it home and we put it on our bathroom cabinet and it all looks fantastic. And then after about, 2 days, we kind of stop that whole toning process because we go, really, why is it so important? I think it's the moisture and all of that that's really important. All right, let me quickly take you through it. So here's a picture of our skin, and you'll see there's a little orange ball attached to the hair shaft, and that's where your body creates sebum or oil. The oil comes out from there to the top of your skin, and this oil mixes with the sweat from your sweat glands and it creates an acidic film on the top of your skin. Or we call this the natural acid mantle. So it's a thin, oily film that sits on top of the outermost layer of your skin. And it does a number of things, which is really, really important. Now, it is slightly acidic in nature. That's why we call it the natural acid mantle. And this slightly acidic nature helps us to fight off some harmful bacteria. But I'll tell you about that in just a sec. So here's our human skin. Here is our good natural acid mantle, that is that natural covering across our skin that's been put there to protect it. And because of that protection, because it is slightly acidic, we have natural aggressors in the atmosphere, or things like bacteria. And I'm going to tell you why this works in a minute, because they're slightly alkaline in nature. So having a natural acid mantle repels a lot of bacteria, repels things like pollution, repels things like the chemicals in cigarette smoke. So it does a lot of good things. When our natural acid mantle, or that barrier, is disrupted, then what can happen is those aggressors from nature can come in, and we don't any longer have that barrier that's going to protect us. So we've got those bacterias coming in, and they can come into our skin, the pollution, the chemicals from cigarette smoke, all sorts of things. So when we unbalance our skin's pH, it is no longer acidic, and we're prone to these things that are happening from the environment, and it can actually exacerbate things like acne and aggressively attack things like dermatitis, eczema, things like that. Okay, like I said before, even things like disrupting that natural acid mantle on our skin can have a huge impact on an outbreak of adult acne, as much as it does for teenagers. So a lot of us use the good old soap and water, and we like to have that feeling of that soap and water clean. But a lot of us don't realize that it's just quite harmful to us. You see, soapy water is a very high level of alkalinity, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, while our skin is naturally acidic, the natural acid mantle. And what happens is using soap will strip our skin of that natural barrier, therefore causing some problems. Let me show you. Here's a pH chart. pH stands for potential of hydrogen, and it's used to measure the degree of acidity or alkalinity in, well, a number of things, but in today's case, the outer layers of our skin. And it's measured on a range from 0 to 14. Now, the center part of that range is actually a 7, and that is where just nice pure water is. It's a neutral, it's not acidic, it's not alkaline, it's just lovely and neutral. So let's go to the acidic level. Down to 1, that's battery acid and lemons. If you go across to the alkaline stage, that's things like soda or ammonia, and at the high level of alkalinity at number 14, we've got things like liquid Drano or oven cleaner. Okay, so your skin naturally sits at about 4.5 to 5.5, slightly acidic, natural acid mantle. Now, when you're using things like soaps, which are highly alkaline, what will happen is we will move up the chart where our skin is. But you know, it's not only soap, it's things like some creams, some SPF, some other cosmetics, washing powders, cleaning products. I mean, there are so many things that can disrupt your natural acid mantle. And we move our skin from, say, 4.5 to 5.5 up the chart, taking away that natural acidic barrier, making our skin more alkaline. It should be back down here. So what happens then is that barrier goes and we are now prone to have those bacterias. And remember, those bacterias are on the other end of the chart. When we're slightly acidic, it counteracts them. When we take our natural acidic layer away, we are now prone to get those bacterias into our skin. And these will, as I said before, flare up things like dermatitis and eczema. It also can really flare up acne. And what happens with acne is a lot of people think that that comes a lot from the excess oils on our skin. So they use the soaps and the harsh soaps to take away those oils, thinking that they're doing good for acne. But what it's actually doing is it's stripping the natural acid mantle, which means that protective barrier goes, which means excess bacteria comes in and makes worse the acne that's already there. So does this make sense with why our pH level of our skin needs to be between 4.5 and 5.5 so we can keep protected against bacteria, pollution, and those aggressors that are in the atmosphere? So what do we have to do to make sure that we can keep our pH level right? Tone, 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 tone. Toner is very important, guys. We can't miss that step. It brings our skin back into balance. And when we have it back in balance, we're protected. And also, don't forget that this goes for all of our products. I mean, you look at our home care range, of course, we see it's pH balanced, which means that when you've got your hands in there and you're working with it, it's not stripping your hands of that natural acid mantle, which therefore protects it against drying, cracking, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis. So it's really very important. So it's not just words that sit there and say pH balanced. Actually very important. So I need to ask you a favor. Please remember to promise not to skip the toning process. And look, if it's a pain to you, get the little spray bottle. That's what I use. So every morning I cleanse and then I go spray, spray, spray. Beautiful, it's done. And then you finish off with your wonderful moisturizers, which will have maybe antioxidants in it to help counteract the appearance of lines and wrinkles, as well as perhaps even an SPF in there, which will stop the future damage as well. And maybe an eye cream. Does that all make sense? The pH balance of your skin is very, very important to the overall health of your skin. So don't skip the toning process. Make sure the products you use are pH balanced. And of course, if you're using Nutrimedix in any way, shape or form, we know that you're 100% protected anyway. But it gives you a bit of an idea what's out there. No more soap and water. Use our products for the health of your skin. You are going to look amazing. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, it's KJ signing off. Bye.